Welcome back to CoinQuest. Have you ever found a penny and wondered if it might actually be worth more than just 1 cent? Well, what if I told you that some pennies from 1980, those simple Lincoln 1 cent coins, could actually be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars today? Stick around, because in this video, we're diving into the 1980 Lincoln penny, how to identify valuable versions of it, and what collectors are paying in today's market. Let's start with a bit of background. The 1980 Lincoln penny features the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front of the coin. It was designed by Victor David Brenner and first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. By 1980, this design had already become a staple in American coinage. But that year, something interesting happened with some of the coins that rolled off the presses. In 1980, the United States Mint produced Lincoln pennies at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins struck in Philadelphia have no mint mark. Denver pennies have a small D under the date, and San Francisco coins were proof coins for collectors and carry an S mint mark. Now here's where things start to get interesting. The most common 1980 pennies were made from a copper alloy. Specifically, 95% copper and 5% zinc. But in just 2 years, the U.S. Mint would switch to using mostly zinc for pennies due to rising copper costs. That makes these 1980 copper pennies the last of their kind in full production runs. Already, this gives them historical interest. But not all 1980 pennies are created equal. Certain net errors from 1980 can drive up a penny's value significantly. And that's where collectors are paying attention. One of the most valuable types of 1980 Lincoln pennies is the double die. A double die occurs during the minting process, when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly between strikes. This causes the letters and numbers, especially Liberty, in God We Trust, and the date to appear doubled. If you happen to find a 1980 penny with clear doubling on the text or numbers, you could be looking at a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on its condition. Another error to look out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned during minting, and part of the design ends up missing. The more off-center it is, without losing the date, the more valuable the coin. Some 1980 off-center pennies have sold for over $200. Then, there's the broad strike error. This occurs when a coin is struck without the retaining collar that normally keeps its shape. These coins can appear larger and have a flattened look. Depending on the condition and severity of the error, a broad-struck 1980 penny can fetch anywhere from $20 to over $100. And don't forget clipped planchet errors. If part of the coin is actually missing because the blank was miscut before being stamped, it's known as a clipped planchet. This type of 1980 penny error has been known to sell for as much as $100 or more. So now you're probably wondering, how much is a regular 1980 Lincoln penny worth if it's just a normal coin without any errors? If it's been in circulation, meaning it has wear and tear, then its value is usually just 1 cent. But if you happen to have a 1980 penny in mint state condition, especially if it's been graded by a professional coin grading service, it could be worth significantly more. Uncirculated 1980 pennies can sell from $5 to as much as $20, depending on the grade and demand. But the real prize is a 1980 penny that's graded MS67 or higher. These high-grade coins are nearly perfect, showing almost no signs of handling or contact with other coins. In recent auctions, some MS67 1980 Lincoln pennies have sold for over $100. A few especially pristine examples, particularly from the Denver Mint, have even pushed prices up to $200 or more. What about proof coins from 1980? These were made in San Francisco and carry the S mint mark. Proof pennies are specially made for collectors, struck multiple times with polished dies, giving them a mirror-like finish. A standard 1980s proof penny in good condition is worth about $2 to $5. But if it's a perfect grade, say PR70, the value can climb to $40 or more. One final thing to keep in mind. If you're checking your change or going through old coin rolls, always look at every 1980 penny closely. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to check for doubling. Examine the edges for irregularities. Look for that D mint mark or S on proofs. And consider weighing your coins too. A genuine 1980 copper penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. Anything significantly lighter might be a zinc penny struck in error, which could be another rare find. So what's the takeaway here? That humble 1-cent coin from 1980 could be worth far more than face value. Whether it's a rare mint error, an uncirculated condition coin, or a proof with perfect shine, collectors are actively searching for these valuable varieties. Some are selling for hundreds. A few have even crossed the $1,000 mark. So don't overlook your pennies. Check your old jars, your junk drawers, your coin rolls. That little copper coin from 1980 just might turn out to be a small fortune in disguise. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coin collecting, valuable finds, and how to spot rare errors, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Drop a comment if you've ever found a rare penny or want me to cover another coin next time. Thanks for watching and happy collecting. Today we are diving into a fascinating piece of modern American coinage history that could be hiding right in your pocket or change jar. The 2003 Lincoln 1-cent penny might seem like just another common coin, but some of these have become highly sought after by collectors and could be worth way more than just a cent. Today, we are going to talk about why this coin stands out, what makes certain versions extremely valuable, and how you can check if you have one of these rare gems. Let's start with a little background. The Lincoln cent has been minted since 1909, and it's one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. The 2003 penny still features the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner on the obverse, or front of the coin. On the reverse, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, which had been used since 1959, before the design changed in 2009 for the bicentennial. In 2003, the United States Mint produced these pennies at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, which uses no mint mark; Denver, which uses a D mint mark; and San Francisco, which primarily produces proof coins marked with an S. More than 3 billion 2003 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and nearly 3.5 billion at the Denver Mint, which means most of these coins are extremely common. However, when it comes to coin collecting, rarity is not the only thing that matters. Condition errors and minting varieties can make a huge difference in value. Now here's where it gets interesting. While the majority of 2003 Lincoln cents are only worth face value, there are certain coins from this year that collectors are paying serious money for. These are the coins with either minting errors, high grades, or rare varieties. One of the biggest value boosters is condition. A regular 2003 penny that's still in circulation might only be worth a penny, but the same coin in pristine condition, graded MS67 or higher by a company like PCGS or NGC, can fetch between $10 and $100 depending on the market and demand. That's right, even a common coin in perfect condition can be worth much more than face value. Then there are the errors, and this is where things really start to heat up. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the coin's production, and certain types of errors can dramatically increase a coin's value. Some of the most valuable 2003 Lincoln penny errors include off-center strikes, where the coin design is shifted to one side; double dies, where the image appears doubled and clipped; planchets, where a portion of the coin is literally missing because of a cutting mistake. Let's take a closer look at some of these errors. A 2003 penny with an off-center strike, depending on how severe the misalignment is, could be worth anywhere from $20 to over $150. A double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile or the lettering appears doubled, can also command high prices, especially if it's in great condition. And if you have a coin that was struck on a defective or clipped planchet that too can fetch anywhere from $50 to several $100 based on rarity and demand. Another variety that collectors look for is called a transitional error. This happens when the mint accidentally uses the wrong type of metal planchet for a coin. While no confirmed transitional errors have been found for the 2003 penny yet, collectors are always on the lookout. Sometimes coins get struck on foreign planchets or older, leftover blanks, and those mistakes can turn a regular coin into a $500 rarity or more. And let's not forget about the proof coins. Proof coins from 2003 were minted in San Francisco, and they are specially struck for collectors with extra detail and mirror-like finishes. These proof pennies can be worth anywhere from a few dollars to over $20, especially if they are graded PR70 deep cameo by top grading companies. If you're wondering how to find out whether your 2003 penny is valuable, here's what you should do. First, check the mint mark. Is it from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco? Next, examine the coin closely under a magnifying glass. Look for signs of doubling, misshaped letters, missing pieces, or anything unusual. Then consider the coin's condition. If it looks untouched with no scratches, or where it might be worth getting professionally graded, a coin graded MS67 or higher could significantly increase its market value. Collectors are always on the hunt for coins that are not only rare, but also well preserved and visually striking. That's why even a coin as common as the 2003 Lincoln penny can become a valuable treasure with the right combination of factors. Right now in 2025, the current market value for a high-grade 2003 penny ranges from $10 to over $100 depending on the mint and the grade. Meanwhile, error coins can go for hundreds and sometimes even thousands of dollars if they are rare enough and in excellent condition. The key is knowing what to look for and understanding what collectors are after, so next time you get change back at the store or you're digging through an old coin jar, take a second look at those pennies. You never know if you're holding a coin that could be worth far more than 1 cent, especially if it's a 2003 Lincoln cent with a story to tell and a flaw that makes it one of a kind. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or learned something new, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more coin collecting tips, history, and hidden treasures that might be right under your nose. See you next time, and happy hunting. Today we're diving into one of the most unexpected and surprising topics in coin collecting, the 2006 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. Yes, that little copper coin that most of us ignore, toss in a jar, or use to scratch a lottery ticket could actually be worth way more than just 1 cent. In fact, under the right conditions, a single 2006 penny could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars today. So make sure you watch this video all the way to the end to find out if you have one of these rare gems sitting in your change. Let's start with a little background. The 2006 Lincoln penny is part of the Memorial Reverse series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. On the front, or obverse, of the coin you'll see the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, originally designed by Victor David Brenner all the way back in 1909. On the reverse side, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, a design by Frank Casparo. Now here's the thing. In 2006, the United States Mint produced pennies at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. You can tell which one you have by looking under the year. A D means it was minted in Denver, and no mint mark means it came from Philadelphia. Most of these pennies are extremely common and still worth just face value, 1 cent. But not all of them. There are some extremely rare versions and error coins from 2006 that collectors will pay big money to get their hands on. Let's talk about what makes a 2006 penny valuable. Number 1. Mint errors. Error coins are one of the biggest reasons why an ordinary penny can turn into a goldmine. In 2006, a number of pennies were struck with noticeable mistakes. These include off-center strikes, double dies, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. That's the blank metal disc before it's turned into a coin. One of the most famous and valuable errors from 2006 is the double die obverse. This is when the die used to stamp the coin shifted slightly, causing a doubling effect on the date, the lettering, or Lincoln's image. If you spot a coin with this kind of error, especially if it's clear and bold, it could be worth anywhere from $50 to over $300 depending on its condition. Another highly sought-after error is the off-center strike. This is when the coin is not properly centered in the press during minting, and part of the design is missing or off the edge. The more dramatic the off-center error, the higher the value. Some of these coins have sold for $100 to $250 or more, but the jackpot comes with wrong planchet errors. A few 2006 pennies were mistakenly struck on a planchet meant for another denomination, like a dime or a foreign coin. These rare mistakes can be worth anywhere from $500 to several $1,000s depending on their rarity and condition. So how do you know if you have a valuable 2006 penny? First, check the coin's condition. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state. A coin in mint state, with no scratches, dents, or wear, is worth much more than one that's been through circulation. Next, use a magnifying glass to look for doubling in the text or image. Check for unusual spacing, off-center designs, or even different coloring, which might indicate a planchet error. If you suspect you found a rare or valuable error, the best step is to get it authenticated and graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. You might be wondering how much these coins are actually selling for right now. As of this year, a 2006 Lincoln penny with a strong double die error and graded MS67 by PCGS sold at auction for over $350. An off-center strike in high grade went for $225. And a major wrong planchet error sold for over $1,500. Even regular 2006 pennies that are in pristine condition can be worth more than a cent. A high-grade, untouched 2006 penny from a mint set can sell for $5 to $15. It's not life-changing money, but it's not bad for a single cent. So the next time you empty your pocket change or go through a roll of pennies from the bank, keep an eye out for the 2006 Lincoln penny, especially if it has any unusual markings, doubling, or striking errors. You could be holding on to a coin that's worth a small fortune. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on future videos about rare and valuable coins. Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a valuable coin, or if you want me to cover a specific coin in the next video. Until next time, keep collecting and good luck treasure hunting.